Hello everybody, it's the Saints man, small van courier driver on the CX. It's Saturday the 23rd, and this is the Thursday and Friday version of last week. When I left you I was parked at Thursday, but anyway, we'll go back. So, I did up to Wednesday night. I'd already booked a job in Thursday, only a small job, but good payer. Northampton to Banbury, COVID. Taking some COVID samples just outside Banbury. It was only 28 miles, but with getting to it, it was about 7 miles. It's about 35 miles all in, and I quoted 35 on it because it's 28 miles and got it. Yeah, she phoned me, lady phoned me on Wednesday. Looked at it Wednesday. I knew I was going to be back home Wednesday night, and yeah, got that one. So I got to Banbury. Banbury's normally a good area because it covers quite a lot. It covers pretty much a circle of sort of 30 miles. There's normally quite a few jobs, and a job did pop up. Rugby. It was strange because I was looking for doing little jobs. I weren't gonna do it. I was up on my target, so I decided just to stay quite locally, local. Didn't want to be racing around here, there, and everywhere. And I'd got to get home at night because we were going out, taking the wife out. So I got a job from Rugby to Cambridge. Was it Cambridge? Yeah, Cambridge. Rugby to Cambridge. I quoted 68 on that. It was from one plumber's merchant in Rugby to the same plumber's merchant in Cambridge. It was a stock exchange to go to Cambridge. And it was right in the centre of Cambridge. I haven't been to Cambridge. I've been a couple of times. Always a bit dubious. There don't seem to be a lot of work comes out for me, Cambridge. But again, it put me over 100 quid for the day. I was in Cambridge. I thought I just want one job, one sort of job anywhere home-ish will be good. It didn't happen really. I parked in the Asda right in the middle of Cambridge, and there was nothing going my way. There was a couple of long jobs, which obviously I weren't even going to bid on, but I was interested to see that there was a couple of jobs going there. And then I thought to myself, well, I could end up driving home here, which would be a pretty poor day, but with my big day Monday and Tuesday when I really did well, I could just ease off then. I thought, well, I want to be home no later than 5 o'clock, half 5. We're going out at 6:15, half 6. So I know. Then there was a job popped up, Haverhill, which was 20 miles from where I was, to Gloucester. I know what you're saying. It's nowhere near Northampton, but it was to be delivered Gloucester before 10 o'clock the next day. So that worked out really well because I was virtually going to go past my house to get to Gloucester anyway, to be honest, from where I was. So I quoted on that one. What did I quote on that one? I quoted 125 on that one. And I went from Haverhill. Obviously, I picked it up at Haverhill. It was ready. It said before 5 o'clock. And when the shipper phoned me, I said, does that mean it's ready now? And he says, yeah, it's one pallet. And he says, it's ready now. They've got it for you now. And I said, well, I'm going to be there in about half an hour. I thought, the quicker I pick it up, I'll take it home. And then I'll be all easy home for half 4, 4:45, which I was. I picked it up. It was a pallet, one pallet. Weighed a good bit. Weighed about 150 kilos, which is brother. And what I've been doing that day, I've been keeping my speed to trying to see how many miles I get to gallon. I got up to 58 at one stage, but then coming home with 150 kilos, I was doing 70 along the road, and I got it down to 50, 54 and a half, something like that. But anyway, took it home, and that was Thursday. So what I did Thursday, I split that job up. I split £54 to go home. So that day I did 157, which is under my 200. But I gotta say, I've done 2 long days, and it was quite nice just to chill. Got home quite early, got some nice food, then we went out. Friday morning, I could be at Gloucester for 10 o'clock. Before, it says 10 o'clock. And I thought, well, it's all traffic from me to Gloucester. It's 2 and a bit hours. But it said the mileage was way off. It took me M42 and all the way around. And that's what he'd booked it as. And I cut that down by 20 odd miles because I went A46. I went up the M45, cross Rugby, A46. And yeah, cut a lot of mileage out and no extra time. So I don't quite know what was going on there. But it was to Gloucester. It was to Kingsholm, actually. Gloucester home of Gloucester Rugby Club. So before we go any further, by the way, Northampton Saints Friday night. 62 points to 10 against Worcester. 10 tries. Playing awesome. Anyway, digress. But yeah, Northampton Saints. Yeah, so I went to Gloucester Rugby Club. And it was matting that they put down. They got a televised game on the Saturday against Newcastle. And it was actually right into the ground to meet the guys there. And I was putting matting down, they were, for disabled. It was lumps of mat. That's what was quite heavy. It was heavy duty matting. And I've got a big Saints flag in the back of my van. And like it's like open the back door. Even the bloke who was helping me says, "God, you're brave coming in here with a flag like that." I said, "I know. Hurry up, shut that back door." But anyway, I did it, and I'd done it I got there about 9:45. I waited a bit, and I got there. And while I was waiting, there was a job popped up, and it said, "Pays £20, Gloucester GL1 to Gloucester GL2. It'd take you about 20 minutes." And I thought, sod it, I'll quote that. And it was I was in GL1, so I knew it couldn't be far away. So I quoted that and sent it straight through to me. So before I tipped the one in Gloucester at the rugby ground, I'd already got a second job at 10:30. And I tipped. I was done by 10. Put in the postcode. Sure enough, it was less than a mile away to a tile place. So you're thinking, great. But that's where it started going a little bit, they're going to earn my 20 quid here. It was picking up 22 packs of tiles. They're on a pallet, which is fair enough. But they were going to a residential address. Now, it said 3.5 miles on the thing. Well, it weren't. It was to Frampton, not upon 7. And funny enough, I've been near Frampton before. It's a beautiful village down the A38 towards Bristol. 22 packs of tiles on a pallet, but it was going to a residential address. Quite a posh naming address in Frampton upon 7. And I says, I don't suppose there's going to... I said, you've got a forklift this end, but there's not going to be a forklift the other end. So, is it worth me taking the pallet? Because she's going to have the pallet. I'm a courier. She'll have to have the pallet. He said, well, we can loose load them now if you like. So we handballed them off. Took them off the pallet at the tile place. Only a small place. Put the 22 boxes on. Only small boxes, but they weigh 10 kilos each. And I put them on the back of the van. Yeah, with help. The bloke from the tile place, really nice bloke. So, travelled the 8-9 miles. It's about 9.4 miles down the Bristol Road into Frampton. Sat-nav top banana because it was a named house, and it took me to the gate. It was a big house, big posh house. Got them delivered. I had to unload them. There was only a lady there. Bless her, she was retired, and she said she was very complimentary. Do you want a cup of tea? I didn't. I said no. I want to get on, Dan. Thanks very much. I says if I just and I put them under a carport. Big old carport. She didn't want them in the house, and I backed the van right up to it, so it was a matter of just dropping them down on the carport. It was easy. So that job done. So then that was done. That was the second job. So I was between Gloucester and Bristol, which gave me a good area. I drove back slightly to Gloucester because there's a nice butty wagon on the A38, and I was starving. So I pulled in there, and I thought, right, it's Friday. I just want a nice job to the Midlands. I'm going to be very picky. I'm not going to take anything unless it goes close to home. Or closer to home, like a good bit closer. So, waited. I grabbed my butty, bacon butty, very nice, mug of tea. I've gone off coffee I can't do instant coffee. A bit of a snob really, I like my nice coffee. So I'm having tea at the minute. And a job popped up, Tewkesbury to Birmingham. Tewkesbury, pick up 12 o'clock. Tewkesbury was 15 miles from me. I looked who was nearby. There was a couple of drivers, but nowhere near Tewkesbury. There was either where I was or further south. And I quoted on that one, it weren't that far, it was only 50, it was South Birmingham. Quite a lot south, just off the M42. And I quoted 49 quid on that one. And I thought, I'll get that, Birmingham. I'm only 45 miles from home, and if I don't get anything, I'll just go home. And have a really easy day. So I quoted on it, and yep, I did get it. It took her a while. She sent it through. Bless her, this shipper must have been under a bit of pressure. It said pick up Guildford, deliver to Rolls Royce Birmingham. I'm like, what? So I phoned her up, and she said, I know, I've cocked up. She says it's not. She said I'm put the wrong one down. I'm trying to do 100 jobs at once. She pushed it through again, and it was from Tewkesbury, and it didn't say Rolls Royce at all. Then it's something else. still what it was. And so it goes to Tewkesbury, picked it up from this customer, and I've collected from the industrial estate in Tewkesbury before, just off the M5, easy to get to. Went in, and he hadn't got the right address. He hadn't got the address I'd got. He said, it's definitely yours. I said, well, all right. I said, do you mind? I said, I'll just check with my shipper to see. And yeah, she put the wrong address in. She put a different company's address on she was under pressure. Anyway, eventually worked out who it was, and it was Marston Green, which is even better because it's the right side of Birmingham, on the way, sort of east of Birmingham, so it's my side, Northampton side of Birmingham. I thought, right, I'll do that. And then I thought, I ain't going to sit here because it's all Birmingham. I'm going to sit between Birmingham and Coventry, Cawley Services. So I drove to Cawley Services. I thought, I'll go use the toilet. I'll have a quick drink. And if nothing comes up, I'm going to drive home. I'm going to be at my aunt. I'll go to my auntie's in Northampton, who's a bit poorly. She's at home. I thought I'll go and see her if nothing pops up. I've got my money for the week. I'm over my target, about 25 quid over my target. My target's 1,000 a week. Obviously, Monday and Tuesday really made that possible. So then I sat there and a job popped up, Coventry to Peterborough. I'm thinking, pick up 2 o'clock. Pick up before 2:30. Must be in Peterborough before 4. I thought, shall I quote for that one? And when I pushed it where it was on the map, I was at Cawley Services. It was only 4 miles from where I was. And I thought, do you know what? If I do that, that'll get me right up. That'll get me just shy of 1,100. And I'll still be home before 5 o'clock. I've got the weekend off. I can see Auntie at the weekend. So that's what I quid on it. I quoted on it. I quoted £66, Coventry to Peterborough. It was 71 miles, so it weren't far off, about 95p a pound, mile. 1 pallet, 150 kilos, and I got it, yeah, eventually phoned through. It took him a while, and I was just about to leave calling, and if I'd have gone past it, I'd have just cancelled my quote and just drove, because I've got my target. But he did phone, and yeah, picked the pallet up. It was from Network Rail, one of their sites, going to another site, Network Rail, and it was fire hoses. Massive industrial fire hoses, really thick. There was 4 of them on a crate and a pallet, and they weighed 30 kilos each, these rolls of fire hoses. So off went to Peterborough, and it said you've got to be there before 4. And I'll give the clue. The Network Rail put it Google Earth on and show me where the entrance was, because it's slightly different to where you think you got to go, and it was brilliant. And I got there 20 to 4, made good time. Got there 20 to 4, thought brilliant. Phoned the number on the thing. The gate was open anyway. I went in. There was no one around. No one at all. So I phoned the number. Arts machine. And there's no one about. And it's Friday. And it looks as though everyone's gone home. So I'm beginning to think, am I stuck with this on the back of the van? So I phoned the shipper to say, I phoned this number you give me, but there's nothing happening. He says, I'll come back to you. So I thought, well, I've got time to wait, because it's up to... so I waited a bit. And then all of a sudden there was an engineer. They've all got the old orange high-vis trousers top. He come through, and I says, can you help us, mate? I'm looking to do a delivery. He says, oh, he said, I'm not even... He said, I'll work out of here, but they said they've gone home. He says it's on the virtually the last one. He says, after me, he says, the engineers don't start work until 10 o'clock tonight. I went, well, I've got a... And he said, what is it? I opened the back of the van. And he went, oh, it's the hoses. He says, yeah, we need them. He says, because the train ran over one and bust it. He says, last night. He said, they can't actually work without the hoses. They need the hose. So I said, well, any chance of getting it off? And they got no forklift. He said, we ain't got a forklift. I said, oh, right. How are we going to do this then? He said, how much? He said, how much they weigh? Well, he picked one up as though it was a rag doll. 30 kilos. 34 kilos. Just picked it up. And, yeah. He said, I'll put me in the office. So he picked some... I picked one up. I said, all I could do. Testing my back out, I'll tell you. And, yeah, all 4 off. So luckily... But the shipper hadn't got back to me. That was what got me. I thought, well, surely the shipper's trying to find somehow to get rid of them. But anyway, I phoned the shipper to tell him that I'd done the job. And they sort of forgot about it. I'm sure they forgot. He went, oh, yeah. He said, I'm looking for someone to help you out there. I said, well, I've found someone. And it's unloaded and it's in their offices. And I've got a signature and all good. He said, yeah. He says, oh, we should have sorted that out, really. So if that bloke hadn't turned up, I don't quite know what would have happened. Because I weren't waiting until 10. because the Saints play Friday night and I wanted to be there for the game. But it's all good. We got it all good. Lucky the bloke was there, tipped. So that day, I'll go back. Thursday, I did 235 miles for £157, average 67 pence a mile, and I worked about 8.5 hours, which is nothing brilliant. But it was a lot of faffing around at Cambridge, and I just weren't. I'd earned my money that week, and Friday was a better day. £206, which that last job topped it up nicely. I did 304 miles because I drove home from Peterborough, which is about 35 miles, and it averaged 68 pence. So that's last week done. So my miles last week, I did massive amount of miles Monday and Tuesday, 462 Monday, 420 Tuesday, then I gradually did 240, 235 and 304, so it petered off. Mileage was £1,661, and I did 1,091 money, so happy with that. It averaged out 65p-ish, which is about, I think for a little van overall, over a week, if you're going to do a lot of long hours, is about what you're going to get. Yeah, I'm quoting higher on shorter jobs, and I'm quoting less on longer jobs. I did work a few hours. I did 5 days, and I did 53 hours in total. So about 10 hours to 10 and a half hours a day. And that would include 2 really long days, 2 13-hour days, and then I had 3 shorter days. Yeah, all in all, average per day is 218, which my target's 200 a day, so I've done my target. It's getting difficult. It seemed more difficult this week, especially the last couple of days. But whether I weren't looking for long jobs or I got a bit back earlier, so I weren't looking for better jobs. But yeah, is it getting a little bit harder? I don't know. We'll see. I've got nothing booked in Monday. I haven't really bothered. My back's had a bit of a setback. Yeah, I went to the Saints last night, and we had to park quite away from the ground. We didn't go on the bike. We went on in our big van, and we had to park quite a long way from the ground. My wife's got a disabled sticker, but they were all full. Which is fair enough. I dropped her off and I went and parked it, and I had to walk about, I don't know, over half a mile, and we didn't get there. The game had kicked off, because of traffic, and yeah, I sort of decided to do a little bit of jogging, a little bit of and my back's aching already. So yeah, it's not 100%, but hey. Anyway, that's the week. Thursday, Friday. I've had a few questions. I've got 107 subscribers, so really thanks for that. If you do like it and you want to comment, I think it's somewhere down here. You know it's unedited because I don't edit nothing. I don't even listen back to it. So what waffle and piffle, I've just been speaking for 18 minutes, is what it is. If it's wrong, that's just my opinion. But I've had a few questions. A lot of people ask me about do you think I'd be better off with a bigger van? What sort of van would suit? I'm going to do a little video. I did one on breakdown of cost. I'm going to do another one on van sizes. This is just what I think, what suits me. But what might give you a little bit of insight, hopefully, and give you a bit of guidance. And hopefully, you can take something from it. But it may be a load of crap I'm speaking. But it's just my opinion, what it is. But I'm going to do a video. That will come out sometime over the next week when I get time. And another one I'm going to do about is areas. Perhaps where to perch and where not to perch, and where do you think you shouldn't go, and where perhaps you get more chance of work. Again, only my opinion, and only a small van opinion about where to go and where to get work. But that's what I look to do. Anyway, hope you have a good weekend. If you're working, you're making money. If you're not working, relax, have a beer. I'm not working. I'm off today. Wife's working. I'm going to go and put some AdBlue in the van. I've got a big thing in the shed, big can of it. Generally tidy the van up. I'm just having a chill out today. Back's hurting a little bit, so I've been doing a few exercises. But yeah, then off with the wife tomorrow. So weather's getting colder as well. So hope you take care. Take money. Speak soon.